corner comes Dolinsky. Out in front of the net, and he scores.
In front. Big shot, big goal.
For Vodchuk, scores. Josh Vodchuk.
Lowe with a rebound chance, he scores. Lowe, a little forward jump.
Welcome into the JRC in Fort Saskatchewan for game number 7 of the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. The Shamrocks and the Mavericks, a pair of 2-0 teams going head-to-head. And for the Shamrocks, you're going to look to watch for number 17, Gavin Ferrati. Breakaway speed, controlling the ball all the time in transition, and a great shot on the run. Gavin Ferrati is your spotlighted player. And down in the other end for the Mavericks, it's going to be Everett Muratori, number 7 in gray. Great on loose balls and capitalizes consistently in transition and speed to burn. That is your game, or your players to look for in game number 7 of Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. That's coming up next on CROW LAX TV. And welcome inside the JRC in Fort Saskatchewan for game number 7 of the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup. It's the Shamrocks and the Mavericks, 2 undefeated teams colliding with the bye on the line. We'll get you ready here with O Canada and be back for live action.
Mountainview Mavericks and the Calgary Shamrocks. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Let's go here out of Fort Saskatchewan. It's a heavyweight tilt. The Shamrocks and the Mavericks, 2 out of the 3 last and most recent Founders Cup representatives out of the RMLL, set to take center stage here in Fort Saskatchewan. Keenan, like I just teed up, it's a heavyweight battle. 2 teams that know how to win, have been there, have done that. Maybe the Mavericks are a little newer to the party in that sense, but nonetheless, they have gone to the Founders already in their early tenure as a franchise. So what do you expect here? 2 teams going at it for the first time all season.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a bit of unfamiliarity with each other. I mean, the only times that you've really seen each other are like what you've seen on CROW, anything from any streams that either team has done kind of thing, right? And then what you've seen just kind of watching the games here at the tournament. So I think there's a bit of a feeling out process that's going to happen early on in this game, and it's going to be a matter of who feels out the other first.
And I may have misspoke. I believe they did play once in Innisfail this year, but I think it was a Sunday game late in the season, but nonetheless, these 2 teams don't see each other too often as the ball gets rolled across the floor and into the stick of the quarterback of this offense, especially with Sutherland out, Jace Dolinsky. Now the ball comes up. Now, well, Sutherland is in. He's playing. He makes his tournament first tournament appearance, and here he is in the middle, and he ripped one up over top of the net as the ball goes loose. They battle for it, and the clock's going to wind down. Shot clock violation, Shamrock ball.
Yeah, you know, Mysak was actually, I think, a little bit confused about that. He looked almost stunned that the ball came behind him up over his shoulder. So I'd be worried about that a little bit, you know, him not kind of having that ball awareness this early in the game.
Yeah, officials for today's game, Chris Hanley, Greg Hart, and Ethan Hansen. As the ball is taken down low and brought back up by Miller. The sharpshooter tried to feed it over across floor when the ball is kept loose, and it's picked up by the Mavericks and jogged up floor.
Good job by the Mavericks to keep the Shamrocks from mounting any sort of offensive pressure.
Paincho, who had a big game number 3 in the Central Division Final against the Chill, hands it off to Dolinsky. Dolinsky looks. He swings it over to the far wall where it's brought back up and tossed up to Sutherland, and that long shot is handled by Mysak, who got the night off against the Rebels last night.
Yeah, and that's going to be his first credited save of this game.
First shot of the game as the Mavericks pick it back up and turn the other way. As they hand it off, Dolinsky starts the possession up as he so often does, goes down low with it, in behind the net, turns back, rolls around his defender, chased up to the dotted as the drums begin to play, and Dolinsky scores past my and on just their second shot of the game and second shot of the game period, the Mavericks have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Dolinsky to shake off O'Dwyer behind the net and kind of keep a step ahead of O'Dwyer the whole way, and it paid its dividends in the end with the ball ending up in the back of the net.
So Dolinsky continues his hot level of play, and the Mavericks have the early lead. The face-off is won by face-off dynamo O'Dwyer, and he goes right in on Swan. He turns that away, and Harnack is going to turn it up floor. And he gets the ball knocked loose. A couple of Shamrocks surround him. Auger knocks him into the boards, and it's picked up by the Shamrocks.
Yeah, and that's Swan's first shot against this game, and he already looks dialed in.
Again, if you're just late joining us, this game was pushed back slightly because of the Cruden Kings going to overtime, a game the Kings would take 14-13 and survive and to live to fight another day as Dowswell, the Red Deer product, swings it over to Miller. Miller to the dotted, comes back up top. Heavy pressure here by the Mavericks. He's hit by 4 guys and still gets the shot off. And the ball pops up off the glass and into the stick of the Mavericks.
What a way to use your body. Wow.
As the ball is brought in behind the net, the drums pick back up. As the ball goes loose and into Shamrock possession. Pretty good atmosphere here in the JRC, even though it is a noon game, pretty early in the day. But this place will start to fill up, especially with a couple of Rebel games coming up at 3 and 8:30. As the Shamrocks come up high. That behind the back dish is caught, and Anderson just couldn't quite tuck it around Swan.
Good offensive opportunity there, just wasn't able to find the twine.
You got a couple of coaches in this game that understand how to get to the Founders. Jason Crook has won a Founders. Trey Christensen has been to a Founders final, losing with Red Deer in 2017 to Orangeville. As that shot gets taken, and Mysak turns that away.
Nice job with Lutweiler, like right in front of him. He was still able to get the shot off.
And the ball is brought back in by Kalinic, who gets chased to the near boards. He whips that over, and Auger couldn't bring it in. The ball goes loose, and a battle ensues, and coming out with it are the Mavericks. That's May with the loose ball. As he's taken in heavily, that's going to be a call.
First penalty of this game going to go the way of the Shamrocks.
Rarely see the Shamrocks take that type of penalty, undisciplined, as the ball goes to the far boards off the shot, picked up by the Mavericks. And I'm glad they called that, because there's been a lot of that stuff that's kind of been let go. I think after this earlier game today, they want to crack down on a few things, and that's going to be a shot off the bar, and the Mavericks go to the power play.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned that game earlier. It got a little bit out of hand a couple times as the CROW and the Kings would have a couple of line brawls, once at the end of the first and then once in the dying minutes of the second. So, yeah, I think the referee's just trying to get a handle on this one and just be like, hey, knock that crap off. We're not going to stand for it through the rest of the series.
Yeah, if you're not tuning into the action right now on CROW LAX TV, what are you doing? As you missed a goalie and a player fight earlier on, a hectic game that went to overtime. The Kings coming out on top in a much better effort from the CROW. And now the Mavericks power play is going to go to work inside. Mitchelluk got tossed down as he tried to release it at the net. And now the Shamrocks come back the other way.
I didn't think he had a single lane in there, and somehow Mitchelluk is able to find one.
Yeah, the back of the box was pretty tight. That's why he got jammed up at the end, but good effort nonetheless, as the Shamrocks are going to look to kill some time here. 14:50 to go. We dip underneath 5 minute, or over top of the 5-minute mark of the first period. As the ball is brought in off the right side, twister attempt falls out of the stick of Lutweiler. Maverick ball.
Yeah, just an unfortunate breakdown there from the Shamrocks.
As Mitchelluk likes to operate up top on these power plays, he'll go and take his place, and the Maverick power play will set up. Mitchelluk to Victoria, back to Mitchelluk. Bauming in behind the net. Ball's brought around the crease and swung over to Sutherland. Out of the corner and into the stick of Myzik.
Yeah, and we were talking before this game, both these clubs coming in 2-0. Essentially a win here will secure you, or pretty damn close secure you, to that bye right into the finals.
As Kalinic gathers it. And he's going to be chased down the wall. High hit there. Ball goes loose. No call coming, and the Mavericks pick it up. Mitchelluk comes back down, far wall. 10 seconds, 5 seconds now on the power play remaining. They'll hold and wait for Auger to come out of the box. And Auger is going to go back and play some defense, I would imagine here. That shot on Myzik, and that's handled by the goalkeeper. Auger skips into the zone, gets hooked up, and then he'll peel out. Anderson to save. It's been impressive in this tournament. Anderson winds and fires, and that hit a body and then bounced into Swan slowly.
That could have been dangerous there, as it looked like it was almost going to bounce out of the equipment of Swan.
And both of these teams, if you're not familiar with either organization, these heavy loaded, heavy scheduled bunch of games at time, both are sort of more prepared than others, as the Shamrocks are one of the very few teams that practice in Junior B twice a week. And then that's outside of any other type of dry land they do. And then the Mavericks are also a team that do a ton of dry land and practice a bunch as well. So both of these teams primed and ready to take on a bunch of action here. As the Shamrocks back down. Ball up high. And behind the back feed inside. And that looked like Dowswell was collapsed on by a couple of defenders. He went to the ground. That they're going to call Shamrock ball. As the Shamrocks get a fresh 30 here, 11:58 to go. First period. Skipping in is Lutweiler. He hits save. He has a cutter. He elects to shoot it. Goes wide. Bounces up off the glass and down the floor. Now Harnack's going to run this down and pick it up off the end wall. The Mavericks. Sutherland flips it to Delinsky. And now Delinsky goes deep into the Shamrock zone. In behind the net. Delinsky up top. Sutherland winds and fires. That goes Shamrock. The Mavericks will retain possession.
And the Mavericks doing a nice job on the offensive right now.
Delinsky setting it up. Underneath his man to the net. And he's stopped by Myzik. Shots right now at the moment, 10-4 in favor of the Mavericks. As that ball's thrown away, and it's going to be picked up by Paintshow. Paintshow to the net. Stopped by Myzik in transition. And now he'll look to outlet. And a back and forth game at the moment.
Nice job by Myzik keeping that one out of the back of the net on a dangerous transition that the Mavericks have.
As Lutweiler comes into the offensive territory, the Mavericks. Here's Say. Feeds it backdoor. Lutweiler was there. Didn't capitalize on the opportunity, and now the Mavericks come back with speed. It's Ertmo down the floor as he trips up and does a good job to roll it to the far boards.
He did it. He got a stick to the back of the head, actually, and I don't know if a referee caught that there.
Victoria up top hits Bauming. Sutherland getting the treatment, some nasty treatment from DePaiva on that off-ball side. Now Sutherland grabs it, tries to feed it to a cutter. That was Class who tried to break in. And now the Shamrocks turn back the other way. Shamrocks wanted a call there for a hold. Not going to get one.
Feel like they probably should have,
yeah,
honestly.
I agree. As the Shamrocks come back down. Here's Say. Say underneath his defender drag move, and that got popped up off the glass. Say now gets hooked up, rolls back. Say one-handed to the net. Tried to flip it into the middle for Miller, and now it's going to be grabbed and turned the other way by Jace Victoria. Now the Mavericks back, setting up. Bauming to Sutherland. Sutherland shot in. Easy save for Myzik. And the Shamrocks come back into danger territory. Here is Anderson. Dowswell. Dowswell to Anderson. Half wall, skips into the dotted. Now he looks and feeds it over to Nygren, who scored a couple of nasty goals yesterday. And now the Mavericks get a save from Swan and turn it back up floor. And it's going to be controlled by Amundsen, who's looked dangerous in this tournament already. Very slippery, gets inside and can throw a number of fakes on the goaltender. Hasn't finished maybe to what he's wanted or what he would want to, or to the rate he'd want to, but very dangerous player. Now Myzik soaks a long outside shot. That'll take us to our first immediate timeout. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. We got a big game going on here between the 2-0 Shamrocks, 2-0 Mavericks. Keenan, what have you seen so far?
Yeah, you know, I think this is about how I expected this game to turn out. A low-scoring affair that both clubs are kind of, butting heads over, trying to, gain a sustained pressure on either side of the floor kind of thing, right? So this is definitely what I expected. There are two clubs that are fighting tooth and nail to get that first, the bye into the final.
Right now, to say that the Mavericks are having this game played at their style, their pace of play. The game is between the red so much in each zone, and all the best opportunities have come on scramble drills and on fast break opportunities. So I would say right now the Mavericks are winning in the sense that not only on the scoreboard, but they're winning in the style of play this game is going towards.
Absolutely.
So the Mavericks are going to start up in their own zone here. And it's going to be brought up quickly by the Shamrocks. That's Lutweiler straight ahead to the net, and then Swan stands him up. Good speed there shown.
What a drive by Lutweiler.
Yeah, it looked like a guy just putting his head down in the NBA and going to the rack as the Mavericks are going to come back and set up. Michaluk to Bauming. Half wall to Dolinsky. Dolinsky spins back and tried to go 5-hole, and it goes in. Myzik will want that one back. As I look at the Shamrocks bench, and I know head coach Jason Crook,
Myzik just didn't pinch fast enough there. And it results in a Mavericks 2-0 lead.
As the ball won again by O'Dwyer. That's the one area of this game the Shamrocks have controlled, is the face-off dot, as O'Dwyer often does. And the ball is going to be knocked ahead by Muratori, and it's picked up by the Shamrocks. Here's Say. Say taking a couple of whacks. Say rolls off a check, and that got knocked away by an active stick. Now Kalinic tried to hit a Shamrock backdoor. That was McLean by the looks of it, but the ball didn't get through, and now the ball goes off window, and it's picked back up by the Shamrocks. Good hit there by Muratori, playing aggressive defense, and it's flipped back over center. That'll be over and back. Maverick ball. 2-0 here as we start to approach the latter portion of the first period. Bauming will get it up top. And he's gonna think about the shot, but he'll send it over to nobody into the last, and it'll be Shamrock ball. Here come the Calgary Shamrocks. Auger settling the ball down. Tyler Auger, big night last night against the Rebels, received player of the game. Skipping in, and now they tried to feed him, and a late hit on Auger on a slide from the Mavericks. That'll be interference, and the Shamrocks get a fresh 30.
Yeah, Lodermeyer just came in with a lot of heat there right behind Auger. I'm a bit surprised that wasn't a penalty, honestly.
Good cut there by Kalinic, and Swan there to make the save. As the the Mavericks come back down, chased by the Shamrocks, and they'll set up again here. Dolinsky with a pair of goals already. Coming into his own this year, stepping up after the Mavericks lost leading goal scorer Hildebrandt last season. As that shot, harmless, into the midsection of Myzik with a shot clock winding down.
Yeah, just a routine stop there as the Mavericks just wanted to clear it as far as they could.
Here's O'Dwyer. Now up top. O'Dwyer gets tossed down. Anderson works his way back up. Now spinning around, he's got a double on him. And man, that double comes over pretty quickly from the Mavericks. They do it and execute it very well, and really the only team that does that type of stuff at this level. And it's worked out for them over the last couple of seasons. As Bauming comes back. Now he's got heavy pressure. DePaiva takes him into the boards. Loose ball in front. It's gathered up. Sutherland winds and threw a change-up bounce shot that missed the target, as a Maverick takes a rough ride from a couple of Shamrocks, and the Shamrocks come back up floor here. Quick moving first period, as long as that first game seemed to take. This game going by very quickly. Not a lot of whistles.
No, these two teams just playing each other out, and referees letting them play.
Falls over to Miller, nice tuck move, and that's saved by Swan, who's looked sharp here. Hasn't had a lot of action, but he's had a couple of high danger chances that he's had to turn away, and he's done so. Always tough as a goalie to have limited action and then have to make a couple of big saves, and he's done that here. Sutherland, Mitchelluk. Now Victoria underneath. Victoria scores! Jace Victoria had a lane underneath. His defender fell asleep and able to go around Myzik. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Victoria finds a way to cut in there. Like you said, the defender kind of falling asleep at the wheel there, and that is a breakdown for the Shamrocks that they're going to want to have back against a Mavericks team that is so strong.
So the Mavericks getting their best looks early in the shot clock, not waiting around, and Victoria takes advantage of a bit of a breakdown there defensively. I don't know if the defender thought he had help underneath, but there was too big of a lane there for Victoria to take advantage of, and now Harnack in transition. Harnack scores! Again, Brendan Harnack, who scored as well in game number 3 of that Central Division final that defeated the Chill. It comes up big off the wrong side of the floor, and it's 4-0 here with 3:40 to go opening period.
Talk about two goals that almost look identical. It basically looked like the same goal just from a little bit further out, and the Mavericks taking a commanding 4-0 lead early on the Shamrocks.
Yeah, the difference being Victoria was allowed to walk across the net and was on his right side, and Harnack came down and was pretty far over onto his wrong side of the floor, and it's probably one you want to see turned away, but nonetheless, the Mavericks come back into the danger zone, and Paintshow will hand it off to Dolinsky. Dolinsky fires it down into the corner, and it's back up with Sutherland. Sutherland, Muratori goes under. Off the top, and crease and scored to make it a 5-goal lead for the Mavericks.
Able to find his way through a lot of defenders and able to get right below them, and you don't want to leave a guy like Muratori any sort of room to work with, as he'll make you pay for it, and the Shamrocks do.
Coming ready to play here are the Mavericks, and they are playing their best ball that I've seen over the last couple of years, and that's saying something considering they've had all the success that they've had. As we get a ball change here, and Dolinsky will run it back up. Dolinsky down to the half wall for Sutherland. He swings it, gets it back up top. Sutherland from the rag line, that goes wide. Ball's gonna bounce back down floor. It'll be over and back, Shamrock ball.
Yeah, you know, that shot to me felt a little bit forced for the Mavericks. I think they could have taken their time a little bit more, as they still had some seconds left on the shot clock there. Just an unnecessary shot that they took.
There's still time here, obviously, if you're the Shamrocks, but you need a 2 or 3 goal run right now, you know, in the next 10 minutes or so, to kind of ease your way back into this game and not let this get too far ahead of you here, as that ball is sent too far out of the reach of Boucher. And now the ball was momentarily going to be picked up. Now it is picked up by the Shamrocks, and good move out of the corner by Johnston to get the ball up floor.
Yeah, and Nolan Highcamp was a bit slow to get up there on that play. I don't know exactly what happened, but it looks like it may have been some sort of something to his leg.
And Muratori stormed in, and that's a big that he's still mentally in this one. Turning away Muratori. Now Ogier on the run. That goes wide. Ball bounces back down, and that'll be over and back. Maverick ball.
Yeah, you know, the Shamrocks only have 10 shots in this period, and, you know, it feels kind of untraditional from what the Shamrocks normally do, because normally they're peppering you with shots, but they just haven't been able to gain a sustained offensive pressure.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They really have not. They've had a couple of chances on, like Miller had that one chance where he span in, and he had another one where he cut in, but other than that, they really haven't had a whole lot in terms of offensive zone time. As Dolinsky holds on to it. That shot taken by Michaluk, stopped down low by Mizek. Michaluk's got to run here, and he just got there to angle off Lee there. Excuse me, Patterson. And now the ball is controlled by the Mavericks. Sutherland to Dolinsky. Dolinsky underneath. He's cut off this time, and then he steps back, shoots that wide. And that'll be over and back. Shamrock ball.
You know, that didn't miss by a whole lot, and I think it may have beat Mizek if it was over by about a foot.
So as we go underneath the final minute of play here, opportunity for the Shamrocks to lock in here, get themselves engaged in this game. Lutweiler feeding it, and he hits Kalinic. Feed, Miller backdoor, tried to get it to Lutweiler. Nice pick off there, but we've got a delayed call. Looks like a slash will be upcoming to the Mavericks, and that looks like number 91, Grayson Admonson, who will be the guilty party in the Shamrocks with their first power play of the game.
Yeah, and this is going to be the telltale sign of the Shamrocks right now. You have 48.6 left in this period. Sure, you might start the second on the power play, but if you don't get a power play goal here, I think that might spell bad news bears.
Miller down low to say, as the Shamrocks set up and working around the perimeter, Auger will man the top. Miller takes a high hit. That's going to be a call, as official Chris Hanley spotted it right away. He was looking right at it. And we'll have a 5-on-3 here now in favor of the Shamrocks.
And that's going to be a long 5-on-3 power play as well, 1:45. Only 15 seconds had gone by on that initial call.
So Muratori will be the man into the box, and with 33.5 seconds to go, the Shamrocks will keep McLean up high and run basically what is a 4-on-3 here. You'll see that often and really all the time at this level, and any coach that kind of knows what they're doing will run this as it pulls apart the triangle further. Here's Miller. Miller with a shot, stopped by Swan. And the Mavericks can kill the rest of this period if they can clear it. And now in transition is Lodermeyer, just avoiding this 8-second count, and it actually bounced into the stick of a Maverick. That is Harnack, and Harnack takes it all the way around the net, and that's gonna kill the remainder of the period. So after one period of play, the Mavericks storm, so they can start off right away on this power play. He wins it again, and he's gonna win it right to McLean, who tosses it up to Auger. Auger across, back over to Auger. Miller, now down low. Say, in front, right into the crest of Swan. And loose ball is picked up by the Mavericks. That high pass is gonna have to be brought in by Harnack, and he's gonna have heavy pressure on him. He has no choice but to roll it up floor, and it's picked up by the Shamrocks. Auger, back over, Miller, skips it. Lutweiler tried to go cross crease. That missed its target. Ball goes to the far boards. It's picked back up by Auger. Down low, Say, walks the crease, Say, and he's stopped by Swan.
Yeah, nice stop by Swan there to keep this game up by 5 for the Mavs.
So the Mavericks looking to kill some more time here. Only 13 seconds remaining on the first penalty. As Delinsky bounces around with it, he's got high pressure and a double to deal with, and he gets down low with it around the net. Delinsky, heavy chase by McLean, and a high hit there. McLean goes up on Delinsky. That's going to be a penalty, and now we're going to play some 4-on-4 lacrosse as a Maverick gets out of the box.
Yeah, Delinsky took actually a couple hits up high there from McLean, and I don't expect that kind of play from McLean. I don't know if it was maybe just unintentional, but nonetheless, it's going to be 4-on-4.
Yeah, and he definitely didn't mean to do that, but I mean, sometimes you're chasing a guy, and Delinsky kind of ducked down a little bit and changed the angle, and tough to kind of avoid that, but it was definitely a penalty, and the Mavericks are going to go 4-on-4 for 10 seconds, then they'll have the man advantage.
Yeah, and the Mavericks net right now just waiting that 10 seconds out before they run a play here to get to the 5-on-4 power play.
Here's Mitchell up top. He's waiting, and he's gonna send a pass that Bauming didn't bring in, but it's picked back up by Sutherland. Mitchell shot, sidearm, stopped by Mizek, and the Mavericks are gonna set back up here with a reset. Here's Mitchell plays catch with Victoria. Mitchell behind the back, Victoria looks at the net, gets it back to Mitchell. Now the ball goes in behind the net as the Mavericks work it up high. Victoria chased, heavy pressure there. He turns around and fires it into the stick of Mizek. And now up floor come the Shamrocks. And with space, there's Snee to the net. Stopped by Swan. Nice shoulder save there by the goaltender, and then the ball goes into the near corner where it's gathered up by the Shamrocks, and they're now going to have to kill for 50 seconds.
Dangerous opportunity there for the Shamrocks, shorthanded.
Here is Anderson, pressured near the near the Shamrock bench. Anderson up high over top of the rag line. 30 seconds now on the kill remaining. As that shot from Dowswell catches a piece of Swan, and that almost resulted in a reset, but good loose ball there by the Mavericks. Here's Dolinsky. Up top, down low. Sutherland, Bauming, back up to Dolinsky. As the traffic is heavy in the middle of the floor now. A seal down by Victoria up top, behind the back. That pass was too inaccurate for Victoria, and now the ball goes up floor. McLean had that go low on him, and he tries to pick it up, unable to, and it rolls to Swan. Now Dolinsky racing up floor. 16 and a half to go here, second period. Sutherland up high. Victoria. Now Victoria. Underneath Victoria, and he tried that same move to try and reach around Isaac, and a good save there by the big goaltender. And now here's Amundsen. Amundsen turned away by Isaac. So a couple of quality stops in a row by Isaac as he settled into this one.
Yeah, nice job by Isaac. He's facing an onslaught of shots right now from the Mavericks. And keep in mind, we're 5-on-5 right now.
As they get another reset here. 15 and a half to go, second period. Rolling around, down underneath. Dolinsky to the front of the net. Stopped by Isaac as Dolinsky jumped on top of McLean, and then he was pushed over by DePaiva.
Yeah, I think DePaiva wasn't too happy, as I think he felt that Dolinsky gave a bit of an extra shot there just beforehand to the head of McLean.
Underneath to the net, and that's Lutweiler trying to crease dive. Again, Swan standing tall.
Yeah, Swan unstoppable so far in this one.
As the Mavericks looking to extend that lead, swim move on the far boards. Another swim as there's a chase going on between Patterson. Can't quite see who that righty is right now. Perhaps Banco. That's who it was. As that ball is picked up by Isaac. And now Patterson is going to try and get it up floor in time, and he does so.
One of the Mavericks actually was missing his stick for a second. One of the Mavs came out and kind of threw him his stick as he was coming out on the floor. I think he broke a stick, and that was just an extra.
Dowswell winds and fires. Stopped up high by Swan. Now loose ball. Nygren is taken down, and a bunch of bodies go and convene for the loose ball in the corner. Now the Mavericks are going to be the ones to come away with it. Boucher, the U17 affiliate, does a good job to get it up floor, but they call him for the 8-second count.
Just barely missing that 8-second count, too.
As we start to work our way to the midpoint of this game, it's that time of the game where you have to get on some type of run here. If you're the Shamrocks, 2, 3, 4 goal run is going to make the world of difference in this game. As Lutweiler across the top, and Swan, good job to stay with that shot. Didn't move too far away from that near post. And Muratori 2-on-1. Muratori cross crease pass, and just going up over top of the bar was Gardner.
Good attempt by Gardner there to try and deke out Isaac, but Isaac read him the entire time.
Now McLean picks it up. Ben McLean tried to feed it across the floor. And the Shamrocks going to set up. Underneath, all the way to the net, Kalinic. And staying with that was Swan, who got to his knees and stayed up with his shoulders near the crossbar to shut that off.
Bad defensive miscommunication from the Mavericks there.
Yeah, we've seen that the Shamrocks way, where they've had let Mavericks guys go underneath and back the other way. This time it was the Mavericks allowing the Shamrocks to go underneath. And I don't know, again, if they thought they had some help there, but that was a little too easy for Kalinic. Amundsen flips it to Dolinsky. Central and Southern champs here going at it from Fort Saskatchewan. 2-0 Mavericks, 2-0 Shamrocks, and the bye most likely on the line in this game. Dolinsky floats that at the net, stopped by Isaac. And now the ball is sent up floor errantly, picked up by the Mavericks. Victoria, slow playing this, now he gets it low. Sinclair in behind the net. Feet out in front, and Victoria turned away by Myzik.
Trying to go around Snee there, and I don't know if Myzik saw all of it.
That pass was sent low to the floor and out of the reach of Auger.
Sorry, Myzik, I was almost combining their names, Snee and Myzik.
Now down the wall, Dowswell. Looking to the middle, nobody there. So Dowswell's gonna hold on to it. Now he tries to go underneath, flips it back, Auger's open, but he wasn't able to catch it. And here come the Mavericks. Bauming. Up top to Dolinsky. As the Mavericks set up 5-on-5. Dolinsky had Bauming open. He went behind the net. And now a quick stick opportunity. Sinclair didn't reel it in. Now across the net. That pass came in. Nice pick off by the Shamrocks. And it looked as though Highcamp was able to pick that off in midair. Here's Anderson. Top of the floor for Kalinic. Kalinic up top. Dowswell tries to drag it underneath. Ball goes loose. High hit there on Lutweiler, and then he knocks a Maverick down, and they're going to call interference. Maverick ball.
Yeah, Lutweiler, it looked like he took a stick right to the face there and no call.
So Amundsen sends it over to Victoria. Amundsen across the top and all the way to the net. Victoria scores! Jace Victoria getting to the middle of the floor. He had one where he went underneath the defender. This time he's able to go right over top, and it's a 6-0 lead.
Unbelievable play by the Mavericks, and they are just dominating the Shamrocks, who looked dominant against the CROW last night. So, wow, just crazy clinic that the Mavericks are putting on.
Yeah, varying up your moves. You go underneath one time and you have a lot of space. Changing it up and going over top. The second time, that's good versatility, and the Mavericks able to really start to pull away here. Face off is won this time by the Mavericks. Good loose ball there, and right by the bench by Harnack, and now here come the Mavericks. Muratori stopped by Myzik.
Basically put it right into Myzik's stick at that rate. I don't know where else he would have gone, though.
Tried to go he tried to get him to lift his stick and fit it through his legs. As the ball goes into the bench, and it'll be Shamrock possession. As we had a stoppage of play, get a media timeout here. So halfway through the game, a lead that was built primarily in the first period, the Mavericks came out right away, scored 2 or 3 goals, and ever since then, the Shamrocks have been sort of chasing this one. So Keenan, what do the Shamrocks need to do to sort of take back some momentum? They're not going to get it all back in, a short amount of time, but what can they do to sort of start to get on the right foot?
No, I think a lot of it is they need to start playing their game a little tighter. It feels like they're kind of playing a little bit looser and maybe not as fast as they're used to, because this is very uncharacteristic of the Shamrocks to go a full 30 minutes of a game without a single goal. So I feel like they just need to tighten up their game a little bit, make those crisper passes, find those lanes to the net, and, the results will come.
I think a lot of it has to do with the Mavericks' pressure. Like, they're not getting those clean swings across the top of the floor, where it pulls the defense out, and it forces them to turn their heads, and it opens up lanes for cutters. They're not able to get those clean swings across the floor because those defenders are putting pressure on them to make those quick passes, and that their clock is being rushed up, sped up.
Yeah.
And so they're feeling that pressure, and their passing and catching is kind of suffered because of that. And I think they're just not playing like sharp lacrosse right now. As the ball starts up high. Miller Swings it over to Dowswell. As a call is coming up now against the Mavericks. Dowswell trying to free himself up. Ball goes loose. Shamrocks power play.
Yeah, just a bit of a lazy play there. You know, he was a bit undisciplined with his stick, the way that he just kind of jammed it in there. And, you know, I think it's an unfortunate scenario for the Mavericks, but it's one that, you know, you commit the foul, you got to serve your time.
So 9:36 to go here in the second period. Just talked about the Shamrocks trying to reel this one in. It's a nice opportunity for them to do so here, or at least start to do so here. As Miller goes up top, Auger behind the back, Blutweiler goes down low, wide open, Anderson missed the net. And now it's picked up. Auger sails that wide. And now Swan is going to sail it up floor. 2-on-1 here for the Mavericks if they hurry. Amundsen to the dotted, fires it right into the midsection of Myzik. And he'll set the Shamrocks up to go back down floor.
Yeah, you know, that last Shamrocks offensive, 2 shots and both of them missed the net. That's very, very uncharacteristic of the Shamrocks.
Miller up top, down low. Back up to Nygren. Now it's Miller. Dowswell into the middle. Miller was open. The ball, I don't know if it hit his stick. It didn't get to him. And now the Mavericks racing ahead. Delinsky all the way to the net. Scores! Jace Delinsky is red hot right now. Run it up as the Mavericks are up 7.
Yeah, the Mavericks just keep running that score up. 7-0 is where they sit now, just over halfway through this game, and the Shamrocks are in a bad way.
Yeah, that comes short-handed as well. So the Shamrocks still with 1:02 to go on the power play. They're gonna need some type of answer here before it gets too late. Ball pulled back. Again, O'Dwyer wins it. So very rarely in a game are you gonna be down in a game by 7 and have your face-off guy dominating like the way he has, but that has been the case. O'Dwyer has won the vast majority of the draws.
Well, this is unfamiliar territory here for the Shamrocks. I mean, I don't think I've seen them down by 7 in a game in a long, long time.
Yeah, and the only time I can sort of remember was as that shot comes in on a partial break, Mavericks wanted a hit from behind. They're not going to get one. You know, there was a final in 2022 when the Warriors were sort of up on them by about 5 all game. That's the closest thing I can think about, or I think of when I think of the Shamrocks having a big deficit to overcome. Not often do you see this team in a big hole, but that's what they're facing right now. The Founders hosts in some trouble. Dowswell, bounce shot, stopped by Swan, and that's picked up and sent out by the Mavericks.
How good has Swan looked in this game, saving all 22 shots that he's faced so far with 7.5 to go in the second.
Into the middle, and Michaluk had that evade him as he tried to shoot it. Michaluk and DePaiva tie up, and we're going to get interference. Maverick ball. Michaluk quickly, shot taken, and that's a good stop. As I think that was Amundsen with that opportunity.
A nice job by Myzik to read it as well as he did, and that got sent up into the roof.
Yeah, good job by Amundsen to get that off quickly. He stepped inside and wasted no time. Good stop by Myzik. Ball swings. Michaluk. Now Sinclair. Sutherland. Low to low. Stopped by Myzik. Loose ball. Bunch of bodies go in, and they're going to award the ball to the Shamrocks.
You know, the Shamrocks need as many offensive possessions as they can get now with 7 minutes left in the second, down by 7 goals. Anything that they can garner at this rate is good.
Yeah, now DePaiva is going to go to the box. The big defender is going to get a roughing call. That's not what you want at this time of the game if you're the Shamrocks. So power play here, and Michaluk will direct traffic. Sutherland and Delinsky on the right side. That pass was hot and heavy for Victoria. Ball bounces down the floor. And Swan will grab it.
Yeah, Snee was looking for that outlet pass and was just out of reach.
So coming back down floor is Dolinsky. Down low, Sutherland. Mitchelluk as they go around the right side with it. Now up top, try to feed Victoria. Pass got knocked down. Picked back up by the Mavericks. Dolinsky steps into one. That looked like it went off a body, then off of Myzik and out.
I think it actually went right off of McLean's rear end there as he almost grabbed it in a bit of pain after that.
Yeah, it definitely hit him as that ball is getting tossed around now in behind the net. And room, but not electing to take it for Sinclair. Shot Mitchelluk, that hit something and made its way to Myzik. Now, nice knockdown by Dolinsky, but the ball goes back into the stick of Snee.
Mavericks almost looking like they're just trying to use the defenders as screens on Myzik.
So we set back up here. Mavericks on the power play still. Shot, Sutherland, stopped by Myzik. Ball up high. Dolinsky sends it to Victoria. He fakes it and then he dishes it up to Mitchelluk. Mitchelluk steps into it and pulled that wide. And that's going to be, it must have went off of a Shamrock because that's going to be staying with the Mavericks. But now the ball is sent over Mitchelluk's head. Johnston tried to run it down, but it bounces right to the Mavericks. Behind the back, Muratori spinning around. Muratori couldn't get to the net. And the Shamrocks are going to take over here. And that's a kill there, so a big moment for the Shamrocks. Can they take some momentum from that and push forward 7-0? They trail with 4.5 to go in the second period. As the ball swings over, Kalinic rolls back. Kalinic chased, and it's picked up by the Mavericks. There's that heavy pressure again. And Paincho, breakaway, scores! Paincho on the break. Another transition goal and another one up high on Mr. Myzik, and it's 8-0.
Yeah, the Mavericks just keep extending that lead, not letting the Shamrocks get as many opportunities as they would in a normal game, and the Mavericks have their foot on the gas and full control over this game.
I have to find out what that celebration is. I saw them doing it a lot in the final against the Chill, and I've never seen it before. It almost looks like a video game character, kind of waving their arms in front of their face.
Might have to ask the media guy for the Mavericks, Mark Payne, about that one.
Yeah, he'll know about that. I should have asked him already. Keep forgetting as that ball gets picked up by the Mavericks. Sutherland gets tied up by DePaiva. Now DePaiva looking for some flesh. He's gonna back in now. Sutherland over to Gardner. Gardner turns back. Ball moved. Sutherland takes a shot, takes it. That gets stopped by Myzik. Ball goes loose. The Mavericks are gonna pick it up. And it's gonna be tossed over to Bauming. Bauming half wall for Sutherland. As the Mavericks look to extend their lead. Victoria step back, and that goes right through Myzik. His 5-hole, 9-0.
Even through my headset, I could hear just how much of the pad that actually got. So Myzik did get a good chunk of it, but obviously just not enough. And this game is now starting to get a little bit out of control, 9-0.
Yeah, Victoria having a big game here. He's got at least 3 now. So he gets the hat trick, and yeah, the Mavericks just doing pretty much whatever they want right now.
They're having their way with the Shamrocks.
That ball gets pulled up and into the stick of Paincho. Paincho all the way to the net, and he stepped into the crease, but they don't call it.
Almost looked like McLean kind of kicked him a little bit there too.
As the ball gets sent back up floor, but it bounces right back to the Mavericks. And here they come, Benko. Down the floor. Trying to run this down as Dolinsky somehow, I don't know how he stopped his feet there, but he did and avoided the over and back.
That was dangerous.
As now Sinclair rolling back up high. Shot, saved this time by Myzik. And now he's got a breakaway opportunity. Well, the Mavericks do a good job of coming out the gate and taking it away. Patterson does catch it, and he'll pull out and hand it off to the Shamrocks. Here is Lutweiler down low. Ball up and swung. Dowswell low to low. That's soaked by the leg of a Maverick. And is picked back up by Lutweiler. Lutweiler looking, he's going to take it, and that pulled wide. Be over and back, and Mavericks with another forced turnover.
Yeah, you want to talk about a game that the Mavericks have just showed their domination. They're also trailing the shot clock 43-23 right now, not letting the Shamrocks really operate at all in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it shows you how crazy sports are and how difficult lacrosse can be to sort of prognosticate and get a read on. As you know, last night the Shamrocks kind of had their way with the Rebels. The Rebels never really got into that game, I didn't think. The Shamrocks controlled it, and then now you turn around and now the Shamrocks are having a hell of a time with a Mavericks team that's come just on, they're playing on their toes. It's the best way I can describe it. They're ready to jump at every opportunity, defensively and offensively, and they just look like they've been more ready to play here today.
Absolutely.
As Lutweiler goes and swings it right over to Kalinic, who put it in the breadbasket of Swan. And they change balls here. We're back in play here. Amundsen. As I see Muratori is gone and got the same shoes as Amundsen. They're both wearing those bright pink kicks.
Hey, look, they stick out, man. I love them.
They look nice.
I'm not quite a pink guy myself, though. I prefer a purple, a deep purple.
Oh, yeah, purple's nice, but yeah, no, they look good on the floor. Whatever color those are, or whatever color they may be, is that is sent up. Nice pass by Myzik Snee, but he's on the wrong side of the floor, and he's going to have to pull out. Ball swings. Dowswell is going to control it. As Anderson shoots that into a body. And that's going to be picked up by Delinsky, and he's going to run out. And man, Delinsky can run, and he can run for long periods of time, and almost brought in there by Michaluk, who gets sent to the floor, and that's going to draw a call.
And it looked like there was almost going to be some extracurriculars there, but none forthcoming. As the referees, I don't think want that either.
Nope, so DePaiva goes back to the box, and the Mavericks are going to go to the power play.
Yeah, and this is not what you want if you're the Shamrocks. I mean, you're already down by 9 at this point. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a wash, especially when, you know, you're not seeming to get much offensively going, as I think the Mavericks are calling a timeout here.
Yeah, they're calling a timeout. They'll have under 30 seconds. I don't know if they'll take Swan out already on the power play. But regardless, they want to draw something up for their offense. And it looks like that's offensive coach Elijah. Sorry. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure I had his name right. Elijah Johansson for the Mavericks. I was 99% sure that's who it was, but I just wanted to make sure. As they draw it up, and the Mavericks are going to try to go up by 10 here, which is crazy to say, and I don't think...
Especially against the Shamrocks.
Well,
that's crazy to hear.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think anybody would have thought that coming in.
I think a lot of people would have favored the Shamrocks in this game.
Either way, I don't think anybody would have thought 10 goals would be a spread that you'd see at any point for any team in this game.
I'm not really a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I wouldn't have even put the over-under at like 2.5 on this one.
Oh, you're talking about the spread, yeah. Spread, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have expected the spread to be under 3.
Yeah, yeah. Reasonably, I would have said, yeah, 1.5, 2 in this game as this ball gets sent up top. Now, it's taken and wound by Michaluk, and he misses the target. That's going to do it for the second period. But after 2 periods of play, the Mavericks with a commanding 9-0 lead over the Shamrocks. Both teams having entered the game 2-0 Only one will leave 3-0, one will drop today. Third period action here, Mavericks and Shamrocks. Now, O'Dwyer's going to win yet another draw here. As the ball goes over to the far boards, it's going to be picked up momentarily, and now it's Maverick possession. Harnack breaks in and stopped by Myzik, and then the ball hit a Shamrock and almost rolled back in to the net of the Shamrocks, but it's going to stay out. Calgary's going to come back down. Now Snee was stripped, but he picked it back up. Snee holds on to it. He's pinned to the far wall. There's 3 Mavericks surrounding him. Now it's picked up by the Mavericks and brought out. Delinsky will slow it down for Mountainview. And they'll set back up the power play. 45 seconds remaining. Delinsky up top, gets it back. Delinsky down low. Sutherland has a couple of cutters. Now Victoria couldn't bring it in, and the ball goes loose, but it's picked back up by Victoria as he ran back. Shot clock expires, however. Shamrock's ball. Ball's turned up floor. Patterson comes up, dishes to Anderson. Anderson is going to maneuver on the far boards. Paincho pinned to the far wall, and now he goes down. Ball goes loose, and it's picked up by Mountainview. You got to think they'll be content to drain 30s here in the third period. Up by 9 with only 18 and a little bit left to go. Now backing in, step back shot. Bauming stopped by Myzik. Ball goes loose. Picked up momentarily by the Mavericks. They lose it. And now the Shamrocks pick it up. Now in transition is Poncelet. Dowswell has Auger, and Auger didn't bring the ball in. Mavericks pick it up and go. As Muratori transitions. Muratori stopped by Myzik. T stood his ground. And now Miller gets checked there by May. Rolling down underneath is Miller, but he's going to take a fall to the floor, and Delinsky is going to transition it up. Jace Delinsky deep into the Shamrock zone, in behind the net. He's going to wait. And what type of answer can the Shamrocks come up with? Again, they're not going to come back in this game. You want to finish it off with some type of moral victory here as Myzik smothers that, and he's going to send it up floor to Gavin, who tried to get it to Lutweiler. It bounced off him. It goes back to Gavin. It's going to be, well, they don't call over and back because they say it hit a Maverick. And Lutweiler comes back up floor. Lutweiler, Dow as well. Now back to Kalinic, and he tried to jam one in on the short side. Smothered by Swan. We got a delayed call coming up. Cross-checking. Looks like Banco will go to the box. So 16 and a half to go now. Shamrock's going to the power play. And we'll see what type of answer Shamrock's power play can come up with, which has been a very good Maverick penalty kill, as Auger is going to skip it over to Say. Now Miller back to Auger. Auger skips it over to Say into the middle now for Anderson, in and out of his stick, and it's quickly picked up by the Mavericks. Lodermeyer gets it over center and evades the time count, and he flips it nicely to May, who's going to go in deeper into the zone. And now the Mavericks will be content to throw it around and kill some time. Here's Harnack spinning back, doubled, and he goes to the floor. Good defense there by the Shamrocks. He didn't have much help, did Harnack. And it's going to be Shamrock possession here. 15:45 to go now in third. Dowswell. 1 minute to go on the power play. Ball goes around the horn. Miller. Now over the right side. Dowswell gives it back to Miller, and he ringed it off the post. And they'll get a reset here. And Nygren down low, back up. Through Nygren over to Dowswell. Nygren tried to flip it inside for Miller. Nice knockdown by Dowswell, and he has a man up floor. Muratori has to wait for it. He grabs it. And good job by the Shamrocks to hustle back and cut him off. Muratori chased down underneath his defender, but he flips it up safely to Sinclair. Sinclair is going to hold on to it and circle back. He'll flip it into the zone, and it'll be Shamrock ball. 14:45 now to go in the game. Kalinic, Miller, shot, Auger, and that hit a body. Stopped by Swan as the Mavericks looking to go up floor quickly. Now Amundsen runs in. He's surrounded by a couple of Shamrocks. Ball goes loose. It's picked back up by Amundsen. And a delayed call coming up against the Shamrocks with Sutherland in control of the ball. Sutherland winds and fires off glass. The whistle will blow. And another Maverick power play is about to commence. So Anderson will go to the box. And once again, the Mavericks will send out their A power play here with Mitchelluk up top. Mitchelluk now to Dolinsky in behind the net. They love to do this as Sinclair comes around. Now it's lost by Mitchelluk, and the loose ball takes place, and now Snee is sent in all alone. Stopped by Swan as he was a little deep in his net, but because of that, Snee had really no angle to try to reach around him to put that into the net. Mitchelluk comes back with it. Dolinsky pulls it around a defender, flips it back up. Mitchelluk winds and fires into the crest of Myzik. And here come the Shamrocks. Johnston with heavy pressure is unable to get over the line. The ball goes loose and Dolinsky picks it right back off the cement. Now behind the back to try to get it to May. That was in behind him. And the Shamrocks are going to go and pick up the loose ball. Here's DePaiva. DePaiva gets knocked down, and the ball goes loose. And now the ball is sent up floor, and May will pick it up. 12:50 to go now as time continues to wind down. Ball is going to be directed up high by Dolinsky as he waits for teammates to hit the floor. Mavericks still on the power play for 30 more seconds. Victoria, left side. Jace Victoria had Sinclair, but Sinclair dropped the ball. And now a partial break here for the Shamrocks. Scores! Jack McCaig up high on Swan. Breaks the shutout with 12:25 to go. Shamrocks on the board. The lead is down to 8. So the Shamrocks with an answer in transition. And even though it was shorthanded, even though they were shorthanded, they were able to get on the board there and cut the lead. Batted back by Harnack off the draw. Good loose ball there by Amundsen. And now the Mavericks, with 3 seconds on the power play, will hold it. As they set up here. Ball over with Victoria. Jace Victoria spins down and then flips it. Bauming tried to go around DePaiva. but no go there, and DePava is going to pick up the loose ball as he takes a hack on the back of the legs there. Shamrocks are going to come back down floor. Here is Luke Weiler. He's got Earth mode on him. Luke Weiler spins up top, surveying. He's got to move it here. Luke Weiler hanging on to this. Now he gets it to Dowswell. Back to Luke Weiler. Luke Weiler, slip pick by Dowswell. Doesn't get the ball though. And it's going to be Maverick ball. As the shot clock goes off and the Mavericks turn it back into their possession. Here is Delinsky. Down low, Sutherland back to Delinsky. Delinsky holds it, feeds it, quick stick, and that's stopped by Mizek. And the ball turned up floor. The goal scorer, McKay, nice one-handed pass to Auger, who controls it for the Shamrocks. Now into the middle, fed across crease. And it's going to be grabbed by Say. Say loose ball. Up top, Auger twists it at the net, wide of the target. Loose ball, and Auger was fed, but didn't bring it in again, and it's going to be a Maverick shot clock created expiration. Play is blown back in with Victoria bringing it up the floor. Delinsky gets it to Bauming, and now swings over top and shot in on Mizek, stopped by the shoulder. Delinsky now fires it over left side to Victoria. Victoria, 5-hole shot, stopped by Mizek. And now Dwyer taking some hacks. And now the ball goes back loose, picked up by Calgary. And now as we hit the midway point of the third, it's a third and final media timeout of the game. Mavericks in control here. So once again, the Mavericks at 2-0 entering the game. The Shamrocks at 2-0. The winner of this likely to get the bye. Not certain, but likely to get the bye. So it's a big one, and the Mavericks certainly taking full advantage of the right now as they sit in comfortable control. The Shamrocks with the loss would drop to 2-1, and then you would have the Rebels at 1-1, the Kings at 1-2, the Crew at 0-3 after that crazy back and forth game earlier this morning where they just fell to the Kings in overtime by a score of 14-13. Once again, the first seed is into the final with a bye. Second and third seeds are in the semis, and the fourth and fifth seeds are out. So plays getting ready to be blown back in with the Shamrocks in possession here. And Luke Weiler brings it in. Here's Luke Weiler. Flings it over, gets it back, but was in and out of his stick, and now Harnack turns it the other way. Harnack deeper into the zone. He flips it and rolls it back. And Muratori is just going to let some clock slip away and float it over to the right side for Bauming. Bauming loses that, and it's picked up by the Shamrocks and Mizek outlets. Patterson having to avoid the time count, and they say he just wasn't able to do it. That was a tight call, but they say that the 8-second count expires. It'll be Maverick ball here. Mitchelluk, who, as I talked about yesterday, he came over at the deadline from Saskatchewan Junior A, decided to drop down into B. As the Mavericks up high, back to Mitchelluk, and right into the gut of Mizek. That's thrown dangerously towards the benches, but Dowswell saves it. But he gets tied up with his own man. Ball goes loose, 8 seconds, and it'll be Maverick ball. So and now Swan will make his way out of the net, and into the net will be Brady Evanson for the Mavericks. They look to close this one out with only 8 minutes to go. Shot in, and that's high and wide to the far side. Sutherland underneath, rolls back, up top. And that ball is errantly flipped back to Dolinsky. He does his best tennis impersonation, tries to bat that back. He does so, but the ball is picked up by Highcamp. Shamrocks are going to control here with Auger. Tyler Auger takes his man one-on-one to the net, bounced it wide, out of play, Maverick ball. As here comes May down over center floor, and he hands it off to Amundsen. Left side, Michaluk. Up top, now over to the right side and swung over. Michaluk stepped into one, and that missed the target, and it's going to be picked back up by Snee. Kalen Snee to Johnston in transition. Mavericks get back. Not a whole lot of space here for the Shamrocks. As Lutweiler steps in. Lutweiler. And that's sent in front. Dowswell with a turnaround shot. And that's a heavy hit by Lutweiler. I think that's Harnack who took the brunt of that, but Lutweiler's the one down. He's able to get up. After that heavy collision, both players seem all right, although Lutweiler is a little banged up. They look good to go. And so with 6:46 and a 9-1 lead, the Mavericks take over possession. As Dolinsky up top. Has it again. And he sends it to the dotted line where it's sent over to Bauming. Bauming, ragline. Tried to hit a cutter. It goes wide of him, and now DePaiva grabs the loose ball. Jet DePaiva takes a shot at a Maverick as he goes off. And the Shamrocks will start their offensive set. Dowswell, pick set for him. Riley Dowswell tried to fire that over, and it's picked up by the Mavericks. They go by their own bench, up the floor. Lodermeyer takes a heavy hit to get rid of that, and the Mavericks are going to set back up. Sutherland gets it to Michaluk. Up high with it. Sutherland, a riser, is shrugged off by Mizek, and the Mavericks get another reset here. Here's Sutherland down low for Muratori. Muratori gets it to Sutherland. May cut inside and bounced it by Mizek to extend the lead to 9. So a good off-ball look there by the Mavericks. Gets them an extra insurance marker, if you will. And their lead's 9. Excellent floor and awareness there to cut off ball by May. And as he was falling, put it past Mizek to the far side. As the ball's batted down into the Shamrock zone off the draw, but Mizek's there to collect it. Mizek is looking, feeds it up floor, and a one-handed grab by Nygren. Nygren, step back shot from Auger, Stop by Evanson, I believe his first stop of the game since coming in. The ball's bounced up the floor, and the Mavericks will control. Payne Show spinning around into the stick of Sutherland. Sutherland's got a lane to the net, gets cut off at the last second and pushes it into Mizek. And Mizek wanted a crease call. He believed that it was picked up out of the crease. I think I agree with him, although I'm in the other end of the rink. I do think that looked like it was inside the crease. But nevertheless, the Mavericks have the ball. Bauming swings it. Victoria has a flip up, and he takes it to Gardner. Delinsky winds, fakes the shot, now takes it, and that goes wide all the way back over. Shamrocks will take possession. 4 minutes to go. Shamrocks looking maybe to try to end this game with a couple markers here as they trail 10-1. It's been Mavericks taking control of this game and seizing it really before it even started, as it was 2-0 right away, and that lead grew to 5-0 after the first, and they haven't looked back. Zielinski controls it again, and they set up. As you're going to see a lot of this. Mavericks spreading out and moving the ball about 10 to 15 feet outside of the dotted line. That ball bounces up off the floor, and the Shamrocks go. In transition, Patterson. Heavy traffic, and Patterson gets through it to get a shot, and that'll be a reset. Amundsen around a couple of Shamrocks. They'll set back up. 3 minutes to go now. As we wind down, Mavericks looking to be in a heavy driver's seat for that bye, and now Victoria again is allowed to walk to the net. This time, instead of going far side, he fakes far side and comes back short, and it's 11-1. Excuse me, 10-1. As the Mavericks look to close this one out. No, it is 11-1. They were just slow to put it up. So the Mavericks gonna have that ball go loose. And it's picked up by Delinsky. They get the ball deep, as you want to do, especially with the lead. It limits the ability of the other team to turn you over and go on the fast break. Lower in the zone, the better. But if they're going to allow you to stand up high, and at this point, the Shamrocks, there's no reason for them to pressure up. So you can really hold it wherever you want here if you're the Mavericks. As long as it's in the Shamrock zone and you don't have to worry about that count. The pick, or the ball is picked up by Payne Show. Delinsky falls down. That did not look good. As I don't know if he rolled. That does not look good. And if you're the Mavericks, you cannot afford that, as he's been truly their best player for some time now. And he needs help to get it off. And you don't like to see that. Playing such great lacrosse. I hope he's all right. Looks like his ankle gave out on him. And oh, wish the best for Jace Delinsky with 2 minutes to go now. The Shamrocks will bring it up floor. Miller swings it back. Tried to get it into the middle for Kalinic. Loose ball. Bounces up over top of the dotted. Picked up Kalinic. Nice pass inside Anderson. And faking far side and coming back short. Really nice save by Evanson to stand and not give into that fake. Mavericks come back into the offensive zone here, looking to waste some time. And this will be 3-4 now. The Mavericks will have held an opponent to 1 goal. You had a 6-1 victory over the Chill in the deciding third game of the Central Final. You had a 9-1 game, oh excuse me, I guess If the CROW did get one real late in that game. It was 2. It was a 9-2 final against the CROW. And then they get the 10-8 win against the Kings yesterday. But then today, holding the Shamrocks to 1 with a minute to go. So that would be 4 goals in those 3 games. Pretty impressive any way you cut it by the Mavericks. As a Maverick goes to the bench for the check on the back, Shamrocks are going to finish this game on the power play. Miller up top. Dowswell on that shooter. He fakes it and he throws it up to Miller. They play catch. Ball's out of the reach of Negrin. Now Say shoots that. Saved by Evanson. Ball goes loose. Picked up by Miller. That a check attempt was almost successful. Now it turns over, and racing away is Painshow. Loses the ball for a second, gains it back, scores. Painshow in transition, far side on Mavericks, and it's 12-1. And he looked like he was shot out of a cannon, did Painshow, on that fast break opportunity. And even though he bobbled it, he gained so much room for himself that he was able to gather himself, pick it back up, and fire it past Isaac. And now O'Dwyer with another face-off win, but it's thrown behind Snee. It'll be back over. And the Mavericks will finish this game off most likely by just holding on to the ball. And that's what you're going to see here. As the Mavericks are going to take this one. Final score, Mountainview 12, Calgary 1. Mountainview improves to 3-0 and have full control right now over that bye. A win would obviously assure